He sat in his leather chair, the kind he could spin freely on, the kind he liked best. Others called it a computer chair, but he hated that. "You don't put the computer on the chair," he'd explain. They'd just raise an eyebrow and move the conversation along. He was much too smart for them. He spun in a small circle, a wave of queasiness forcing him to stop the deliberate rotation. He leaned back, watching television. Free TV from a digital antenna. He stopped on a witty lyric, turned it into a song, then used an AI to refine and create the final track. "Beautiful," he thought, his chest swelling, eyes welling up. He was brilliant, and no one cared. Not a soul. His wife, his kids would listen, sure, but only because he could force them to in the car, strapped into seatbelts on the way to the store. The chair squeaked as he leaned back again. A new short story idea hit him. He jotted down a title, and within an hour he was staring at a rough draft. "Not bad," he told himself, pulling up the AI to confirm his belief. He added it to his collection, something to post on YouTube later. A familiar ache began in his chest. He knew what it was, the cold dread that had followed him since the incident. He began to self-medicate with CBD products that calmed the feeling, the one that made him cry in frustration, his one steady hand now trembling. He felt betrayed. His own body had turned on him. It wasn't the first time he'd been betrayed. His mother, who allowed his car to be stolen, a long story. His girlfriend, who insisted he move and restart his life when hers hadn't even begun yet. In his eyes, he already had a nest egg, a home, a career. She had none of that. A manager at a local market, a job she could have had if she'd moved, a job held for her by his mother. That was a longer story. His wife, a much longer story. He smoked, preferring the flower stage of CBD. His old job didn't allow THC. He felt the ache, forcing himself to smoke until his thoughts faded into a hazy, legal cloud. He turned from the TV in front of him to the one behind him, reaching for the controller. The gaming console lit up, the familiar pattern of lights and the low hum steadying his hand. His mind focused on the controls. He was okay now. His body was in a low, no longer his usual sharp self. Just the dimwit he was today. Anger surged. He put the controller down. He saw the mess of the house and began stomping, yelling, spewing a volcano of hate and pain at the most innocent. He tried to make it up to them, but he felt them pulling away until his oldest asked not to be called his daughter anymore. He hadn't spanked them in a long time. Violence was never his style. But the acid he spat had worn them away, and he felt the loss now. He turned in the chair, his thoughts reeling, until he remembered how he'd managed to come back to them, all three of his children. He was doing okay. His wife, though, that was a very different story from his own. The anger came and went again. Another toke, another song a robot sang, another story no one would read. The chair spun, and he felt the familiar cold, the dread, the loss. A commercial came on, announcing another celebrity death. He thought they'd died years ago. A new story idea hit him. Celebrities buy people's souls to stay young. He finished the note and leaned back. "I am brilliant," he said to himself, thinking how crazy the idea was. Then he picked up his phone, holding it to his lips. They are always listening. Big brother. Right. Well, if celebrities do buy souls, I'm interested for a lot of money, and I want years to enjoy it though. He put the phone down, just in case. He turned to his laptop, the AI program ready to help him write his story. He sat in his chair. He began, "I am indeed a genius.